Welcome back, friends. In today's video we're going to be getting out the Alaskan chainsaw mill, and we're going to be turning this roughly 32-inch pine into slabs for a customer of mine who wants to make countertops. So we're going to be cutting 3-inch thick slabs out of this, and this is a little bit too big for my bandsaw mill, so we're going to go inside. I'm going to show you my Alaskan chainsaw mill setup, and then we're going to get right to the action. Right here is my basic Alaskan mill setup. When you order this from Granberg, which is where I got mine, now there are different knockoff brands out there, and I don't have any experience with those. I'm sure some of them is probably just as good, but Granberg is the original designer of the Alaskan mill, and there it is, granberg.com. And this is probably the mid-size that they have. With this setup, you can do up to 52-inch wide slabs. And that's about where I was going for the mid-size. You can get them longer, you can get them shorter. Kit that I bought came with the bar. It's a double-ended bar. You can hook a chainsaw on both ends of it. But in my situation, each of their mills has a recommended size of saw to run it that they recommend. Mine in particular recommended either a 3120 Husqvarna or the, I believe it was the 880 steel, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's their biggest size, 881, 880, somewhere in there. But I went with the 3120 because it does have a auxiliary oiler. You've got 2 oil pumps on it. I've never had to engage the secondary oil pump right there, because this mill itself comes with another oiler that goes on the other end, and it will drip oil onto the bar by gravity right here and feed it in. So you'll have oil being fed from the chainsaw, and on the other end you'll have gravity oiler feeding in on this side. So there's really no need to engage the secondary oiler on my saw, but it is a nice feature. This bar hooks up to the mill. You've got your adjustment right here. Now, I did install this winch. Now, Granberg has a winch you can buy from them, but what I did was I follow the Homestead Craftsman. I like watching a lot of his videos, and what I did exactly what he did. He has a video on his channel where he installs this same winch on his, and it works fine. I think it's about a 600-pound. Yep, it's a 600-pound winch. I don't think it came with a cable, which I like that because I was just going to put this cordage on there anyway. This is all you need anyhow for pulling the mill. You don't really need a cable. Right here is strong enough. I think I put like 50 foot on here, and the benefit of that is it's lightweight. You don't get all the added weight of the cable, and it's easier to pull in and out. Granberg sells an easy rail, they call it. It almost looks like a ladder, but it has little claws you can dig into the log to keep it from moving, and it has adjustable screws that you can level it up with. What I like to do, I just use my 12-foot ladder extension. I pull it apart. I don't really use this ladder for a lot of work, so it's not beat up. It's still pretty level, and most of these aluminum ladders are pretty accurately level. I'll come in here and I'll screw me a 2x4 or 2x6, whatever you got. Just some scrap wood will do. And I'll put me a level on here and get this side level, and get it to where the ladder is not resting on the log anywhere in the middle. You don't want it, if there's a knot sticking up, you need to trim that off with a saw. But I got that level. I'll repeat this on the other side. I can see that I need to go up just a little bit. I want to get it just off the log. And right there is good. The ladder's not really being held up. Okay. To make sure we're still level, I'm going to put one more in there. Good deal. To secure the ladder to the end blocks, what I do is I just cut me a board that'll fit in between the ladder here. it could stand to be a little shorter. I got it kind of snug. I've cut these grooves in it so it'll fit down inside that channel. Now if I cut a flat one and screwed it down, it might kind of bend that lip of the ladder. By cutting these grooves in there, it fits right in there snug and holds down on that inner part, as opposed to pressing on the rib right there that will go right down through into those end blocks. And that ain't going nowhere. I'll do that on both ends. Alright, you saw how tight the other one was. There's nothing wrong with just cutting one for each side. You see it's the same principle here. I'm going to go inside here and just kind of secure onto the ladder just like that. I'll screw it down, then I'll take you down and let you get a closer look. Oh, and my feet will fold down out of the way, but as you can see how that kind of works there, it goes down in there and holds on the flat of the ladder instead of pressing on that lip. And that ain't going nowhere. That's a good tight bond. It's just a way of doing this, securing the ladder down without having to drill holes in it. Alright, I got wedges under a few of the rungs down through here. And that adds rigidity where the weight of the mill will not push the ladder down. Alright, I brought my winch all the way down here with my pulley, and I will secure that to the lower section of the log right here. And you see how that does, it goes through the pulley and back to the mill, so it just pulls itself down the rail. That really saves your back. If anybody's ever used a granberg mill without a winch on it, you got to push. It don't take long to start getting to you. Box fans set up here, and you gotta realize right here, here's where the operator's at, me. You got exhaust coming out right here, you got sawdust coming out right here. So putting a fan right here to keep that blowed away is a good idea. Alright, I turned my auxiliary oiler on, open the valve, it's starting to drip down. It runs by gravity out of this tank and feeds into a nipple right here tapped into the bar, which will deposit oil right here in the channel where the chain goes. Remember, I have this idler end. It has a handle on it. It has a bearing and a pulley that thing rides in. You can also tension it right here. sweep it off, buddy.
Subscribe to this video.
What was that, buddy?
Subscribe to this video.
And thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yep. Hey, sweet. All right, good job, buddy. A lot smoother than the way this looks, I guarantee it. But you can look down through here. And for a chainsaw, that cuts pretty good. Easy, buddy.
Woo! Dang.
One thing I would like to have that Granberg does make as an accessory is, you see on the side the saw is on, you got this little rail here. It's like a little sled almost. It rides against the log here. You'll get the different kind of bumps on the log, and that's where you saw me pulling out on the mill and kind of helping it around different places on the log like this. Well, they make a little wheel that goes on here, a roller wheel, and it'll ride the log, and it'll kind of ride itself over any kind of bumps and stuff you have. But honestly, I could probably design that myself and fasten it through this bolt right here. Any kind of wheel would probably do. But I may check the website and see what the price is. If it's not too bad, I may just order it from them. I like to make things if I can. Look out, Dalton. My assistant Riley is here. Say hello, Riley. And my assistant Dalton. A lot of work in cutting a slab, to be honest with you. A lot of people wonder why they're so high. But what I'm going to do right now, when my assistant gets done sweeping, I'm going to set me up a couple of pallets over here to the side. And I'm going to start stacking these. This will get flipped over, And as I cut each slab, I will stack it in the orientation it was cut. So when I get done stacking it, it will look like a log again with stickers in between each layer. Alright, I moved my operations out here to the bandsaw mill. I think I'm going to like this a little bit better. I've only got 2 more slabs to go, but I'm up off the ground, I'm under roof, and I've got light, but I'm going to call it a night for tonight, and I'll come out here tomorrow. Here we are, all set up under the bandsaw shed. I had told y'all they had called for rain all day today. That's the whole reason I put what was left of the tree, the other half, up under here. But to be honest, I'm glad I did, because that's a whole lot better working with that up high like that. But it ain't rained a drop today. It was like a 80 or 90% chance yesterday of rain today. And that just shows you how accurate the weather people are. I mean, you see there's blue skies out here. But I've got it set here, so I'm going to go ahead with it. You see I've already got started, got my wedges in. And just a quick rundown here. I think I've explained a few things as we've been going along, but when you get into your first cut, about 2 foot, you want to come back here and tap a few wedges in. You don't drive them home. Just get them in there enough to hold that gap open. You don't want the slab pinching the saw. So that's all those wedges are about. And I'll put 2 more at the halfway point and 2 more right before I come out of the log to keep the log from closing down on the saw. And that's all. I think I explained last night that it's about 31¼ inches wide on this end and about 30 on the other. I mean, my loader couldn't have picked this log up. That's the whole reason I didn't put it up here on this 130 max and slab it that way. It was just too much for my loader. There's no more than my loader needs to be picking up. So once I got this thing halfway, it was enough. I could pick it up and put it up here. So I know I was telling y'all the rate of fuel it takes when you're chainsaw milling. This 3120 almost burned a whole tank of fuel on that pass. This is about a 31 inch across at this section, this slab here that I just cut, and it's 11 foot long. Of course, I was taking my time and letting the saw do the work, not pushing it. But there might be a 1/4 tank left in that saw. I just looked in it, maybe an 1/8. So it almost took a whole tank to make that pass. But you got to understand, when you're chainsaw milling and slabbing, you are cutting in grain. It's not like cross cutting when you're cutting normally with a chainsaw. So you're attacking the fibers on the very ends. That is a harder cut for a saw to make. That's the reason the chain is on a 5 to 10 degree angle. It kind of gives you a flatter cut, and it kind of engages those in-grain fibers better with that angle of a chain. Now you made that pass, so I'm going to get the loader up here. I'm going to see if I can't get my forks to rest on the beam of my bandsaw mill, because I have a leaky tilt on my loader. The lift does fine, but if I rest my forks there, that should stay put, and I can slide this slab right off on here and go put it on. This thing slid off here. That's a lot of weight right there. You wouldn't believe it, but there's no doubt in my mind that is probably several hundred pounds right there. You wouldn't think it, but it is. Several. Thing will get your fingers too. Not bad, not bad. Nobody got hurt. Ooh, that is a nice slab right there, y'all. You can see it. Lord have mercy. We got one more good one to get. Like I was telling you, that thing does a pretty fair job at milling. I didn't bring my broom down here. I knew I'd forget something. You can see how smooth that is. Let me magnify you here. That is not bad for a chainsaw. I mean, you see a few light striations, but it is, you can lay a level on it and it is flat. Woo-wee, friends. Well, we made it. I think what I'm going to do, now that I have a few minutes to think about it, I'm going to save that last little bit. I'll flip it over and cut it with a bandsaw. It'll be a lot quicker. And the saw itself was about $2,400, and that was about 5 years ago. The mill, I paid around $1,400 for. So you're looking at probably $4,000 to $4,500 worth of equipment sitting here. I'm figuring in the winch, the cordage, the other things I've had to buy, wedges, other accessories. I bought an extra chain when I purchased the mill. I got 2 chains. The chain for this thing's $100, and that was 5 years ago. I haven't priced one in today's awesome economy, but 5 years ago it was about $100, so I'm not sure what it is today. Well, there we go. Got our last slab off. Always remember to untension your mill after use. Good deal. Alright, there's all the slabs put back in the order in which they were cut. And what that gives you is basically looks just the way it was before you cut it. You got a log that's been sliced up and sticker stacked. And I filmed it last night, but the light was so poor, so I decided to come back and film again. But yep, there it is. We wound up getting about 6 good slabs out of here. They're 3 inches thick. They are at least 20, they're from 24 inches wide up to about 31. The customer was wanting, I believe I mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. They wanted some slabs to make countertops in their home. I got a friend of mine who is building a log home, and they've already ordered several things from me. They're good customers, they're good friends, so I'll probably give them a super discount on all these slabs right here. Best to put metal roofing on this. I'm going to stick some stickers underneath the metal roofing too to get it up off of there. You want plenty of airflow on these slabs. The more the better. And if you cover it with a tarp, I've found in my own experience, when you put plastic tarps over this stuff, it condensates and it makes all your wood mold. And well, I hope you all enjoyed that video. I think the most key benefit about an Alaskan chainsaw mill is the design. The theory is you're able to take the mill to the log. You got a big log in the woods that you can't get to, or you cannot get out. You don't have the equipment to move it. This is just a convenient way to go out where the log is and mill it up and take it out one slab at a time, or get it to a more manageable size. But it is nice to have one of these. It is very dirty. I'll come in here tomorrow after work, take it apart and clean everything up, get the chain resharpened, and have everything hanging up ready for the next time. I gotta clean this shop too. That is an ongoing process, my friends, cleaning up a shop. But if you like this video, let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, but anyway, I'm going to let you go for now. I appreciate you all watching, and we'll see you on the next one.